Good morning all. Today we start the topic Hall effect. You are already familiar with the topic Hall effect that we studied in our physics. So revise that topic once. So why we are studying this Hall effect here is because to understand the properties of a semiconductor material. For example, if we take any semiconductor material, we cannot say whether it is a p-type semiconductor or a n-type semiconductor. That is which one is a majority charge carrier which is flowing in particular semiconductor. In order to understand that, as well as along with that like current density, the voltage, we can find out other factors as well as terminologies associated with the particular semiconductor material. So for that we are studying here to understand the properties of a semiconductor material. We are studying Hall effect. So here we consider a semiconductor material. So consider this as a semiconductor material to which, for example, T is the thickness of the semiconductor material and W is the width of that semiconductor material, and this L is the length of the particular semiconductor material, and this semiconductor material for which we are applying the electric field, that is with the help of this voltage source. So that what we can say, this semiconductor material is under the influence of electric field. That is, the positive terminal is connected to the C end and negative terminal is connected to D end. We are one more assumption we made here. In order to, along with this Hall effect, we are deriving one small equation. So for that we consider the semiconductor material as a p-type semiconductor material. So p-type semiconductor material, in the sense the majority charge carriers are whole. So how we are converting a pure intrinsic semiconductor material to a p-type material, that we studied already in a previous class. So whatever the semiconductor material here we are considering is a p-type semiconductor material, that is the majority charge carriers are holes. When we connect an electric field to, or when we say the semiconductor material is under the influence of electric field, the current will flow in that particular semiconductor material. We know there are two types of current. One is electron current and another one is a hole current. That is, electron current is exactly opposite to the direction of hole current. In the last topic we already studied. That is, hole current is nothing but a conventional current. So whatever the topics which we are studying now onwards, we are considering only the hole current, that is actual conventional current. So when we connect a voltage source to a particular semiconductor material, the current will start to flow in the particular semiconductor material. So this is the direction of the current that is flowing in the semiconductor material. So current is flowing in the sense that is the moment of holes. The moment of electron is always from this direction. The hole will always move from the positive terminal and get attracted towards the negative terminal. We know that one. So if we are considering the current in the sense, that is nothing but a moment of a holes. If a current is flowing in the outer circuit, that is shown over here as like this, means we can show in the inside the semiconductor, that is nothing but a moment of holes. So this is the moment of hole that will be moving in this direction and they get attracted towards the negative terminal. So this is a moment of hole, that is nothing but a conventional current flow direction. So what we are studying here, that is a principle of Hall effect. So for example, if we introduce a magnetic field that is perpendicular to the direction of this semiconductor material, that is a conventional current direction. That is, if we introduce a magnet like this, here one magnet and here one magnet, call this as a north pole and south pole, and this as a south pole and a north pole. So we are discussing about the Hall effect. For that we need to introduce a magnet, that is, we need to create a magnetic field which is exactly perpendicular to the direction of the conventional current. That is, this is north pole and south pole, and this is south pole and a north pole. We are creating a magnetic field. So we know that always the magnetic lines, that's the magnetic flux lines, flow from the north pole and end towards the south pole. So these are the magnetic field lines. Now what will happen to the moment of hole when we apply the magnetic field? So that we are studying in the Hall effect. So what we are considering here, the semiconductor material which is under the influence of electric field. So when we are connecting a electric field to a particular semiconductor material, the current will start to flow. So initially we made assumption that the semiconductor material which we are using here is a p-type material. So majority are a hole. So that is a current will flow. So electron will always flow in this way. Electron movement, hole will always move in this way. That is a conventional current direction is nothing but a hole movement. So the hole will start from the C terminal and end towards the D terminal. That is, in this way they will flow and get attracted towards the negative terminal of the battery. If we introduce a magnetic field, that is by placing two magnets, that is on top of one and below one magnet. So we are introducing a magnetic field. So what will happen to the whole moment if we introduce a magnetic field? That is, the magnetic flux lines will always flow from the north to south. So this is the direction of the flux lines. Now we have to understand how the hole move under the influence of both electric as well as a magnetic field. In order to understand this, we consider, for simplification purpose, what exactly happens in the semiconductor material. We redraw this one. So the same semiconductor material which we considered here. For understanding purpose, we are redrawing that particular. So in textbook, this one is not given. So directly they mentioned this figure for understanding purpose. I draw this one. So this is the thickness of the semiconductor material, and this is the, so current is entering at point C and current is leaving at point D. So the magnetic field is applied perpendicular to the direction of the hole moment. So consider this as a magnetic field B. Call this as a field B. So this is a current which is entering to the semiconductor material and leaving the semiconductor material, and the magnetic field which we applied is exactly perpendicular to this one. They exactly traverse to each other, 90 degree to each other. Now we understand what happens to this whole moment. That is, we are applying the magnetic field, and that magnetic field is represented as a magnetic field intensity, that is B, which is exactly perpendicular to that of applied electric field. Now, what exactly happens to the whole moment when they are under the influence of electric as well as a magnetic field? Before applying the magnetic field, the holes were moving in this way, that is from C to D. Because of the magnetic field, they get accumulated at one point and again come back to D. In this way they will move. The hole will move in this way. They get accumulated at a point, call this as a point A. They will get accumulated at a point A and then they continue the path in this manner. Because of the magnetic field which we applied, the whole moment gets deflected. So initially they were moving in this way. Without applying the magnetic field, only by the electric field they were moving in this way. But after applying the magnetic field, a disturbance is created. Because of that, they will get accumulated at one point A and then they will move in this manner, that is C to A and then A to D. So as all holes are get accumulated at point A, that is a hole polarity which is positive. So I can mention it as a hole point, that is A. So if we have a whole point at A means exactly opposite to, I can call this as a point B, which is negative polarity. If a hole get accumulated at point A means obviously the electron will be accumulated at a point B. We can say that one. If it is this one is a plus means we can say this as the point where electrons will get accumulated. In this way, the hole will complete its path through the external circuit. Suppose if we connect a voltage source, if we connect a voltmeter across this one means at this point, if we connect a voltmeter, then we will get a one voltage. That voltage is nothing but a Hall effect, Hall voltage. Because of this Hall effect, we are getting the voltage. Let me repeat again. So what we are studying here, the semiconductor material under the influence of electric field, the whole moment will be in this way. If we introduce a magnetic field exactly perpendicular to that of electric field, then hole will get accumulated at point A and then move to a point D because of the deflection that is created by the magnetic field B, and then they will complete the circuit in the same manner, which is explained over here. At this point, if we connect a voltmeter, then we get some voltage. That voltage is because of this Hall effect. For example, if we consider the magnetic field is applied in the X direction, this magnetic field, that is Bx, the magnetic field is in the X direction, and the current which is applied, that is over here, the electric field is in the, let's consider this magnetic field is applied on the Z axis, call this as a Z axis. So why we are considering these terminologies is to understand the whatever the voltage which is produced now. So in which direction that exactly it is flowing. For example, if a magnetic field is in the Z direction, so this is a Z direction, and the current which is applied, the electric field, so let's consider this as a X direction. So this will be the Y direction in this way, that is EY. The electric field which is produced because of this Hall effect will be in this direction that we can see, that is from positive to negative. So we can say that electric field is in the Y direction. If we consider the magnetic field in the Z direction means now we need to understand in which direction the electric field whatever introduced is flowing. So for that, if we consider the magnetic field is applied on the Z direction, that is call this as a BZ, that is Z direction. The electric field is in the X direction. So this is X direction where we are applying the electric field. So this is our three-dimensional view where we are applied the electric field in X direction. So the left out is only this one, the Y direction, where we can see from the figure the electric field will be whatever the produced electric field because of this Hall effect. By introducing the magnetic field, the whatever the electric field, that is potential difference we are getting, will be in the Y direction. Clear? As well as electric field on a particular semiconductor material, then it will go as follows. That is, if we consider a hole which is moving from the C to D, then it will go under the influence of two forces. That is, first one is Fe, force due to applied electric field, as well as a force due to applied magnetic field. So the total force experienced on a hole will be the sum of force due to applied electric field and force due to applied magnetic field. So you can see from this figure, that is we are applying two forces, that is force due to applied electric field and force due to magnetic field. That two forces which are applying on the hole which is moving in the particular semiconductor material. Why we are considering only hole here is we consider it as a p-type semiconductor material. Then a force due to the applied electric field, we know that is Q, the charge, and the applied electric field E. And force due to the magnetic field is as Q into V into B, where Q is the charge of the hole and V is the applied electric field in which the charge is moving, and B is the applied magnetic field. If we put those two values in this equation, then it will go as follows: plus Q V cross V. We cannot write it as a VB, it's a cross product, so we have to consider a V cross B. As we are dealing with a magnetic field, so we are considering the vector diagram, so we need to put a cross mark over here. Not simply, we should not write a VB, we need to write it as a V cross B. So if I take a Q as a common in this equation, then it will become E plus V cross B. So this is the force which is applying on the hole which is moving under the inside a semiconductor material, which is under the influence of electric as well as a magnetic field. Clear? So this equation represents the force experienced by a hole, that is a sum of electric field as well as a magnetic field which is applied on a particular semiconductor material. Now we know that is magnetic field is applied in Z direction and electric field is along X direction, and whatever the force that we are getting, that will be in the Y direction. The difference voltage whatever we are getting, that will be in a Y direction. That's why we can represent a B as a BZ, and this is a current which is entering the semiconductor as we are considering a current direction in the X direction, so I can represent it as IX leaving the semiconductor, and whatever the electric field which is produced will be in the Y direction. On what basis we are saying it as the electric field whatever produced, that is a voltage difference that is produced over here is along the Y direction, is by using the Fleming's left hand rule. You can refer what thumb, forefinger and middle finger represent in case of Fleming's left hand rule. So using that principle, we can say this as whatever the force, the potential difference which is produced in the point A and B will be in the Y direction. So whatever the force which is produced in the Y direction, that we can write it as in the Y direction, the force is, that is Fy is equals to the charge and the electric field. Here the electric field is because of Y direction, so Ey minus Vx in the sense the applied electric field into Bz. So here these terminologies we are using over here. So Y, based on this equation only we are writing the force on Y direction. So the minus is because here the whatever the potential difference is from positive to negative. So in this way. So for that reason, because of the polarity, we are considering it as a negative. So Q Ey minus Vx and Z. So these terminologies are nothing but the direction where we are applying the electric magnetic field as well as the force that we are getting in the Y direction. So this is the force in particular Y direction. So we have to consider a cross product. Call this as equation number 1 and this as equation number 2. That is the force in particular Y direction, that is from Fleming's left hand rule. For example, if we consider that is the electric field intensity Ey whatever the produced electric field intensity, if it becomes V product of voltage applied on X direction and the magnetic field which is applied on particular Z direction, then if we substitute that in equation number 2, if we put this value in this equation number 2, then the value of Fy will become 0. That is, force experienced on a particular hole will be 0. That initially, if we apply the electric field as well as the magnetic field, what happens? The electron will get deflected and they will move to point A and then again come back to point D. This was happening. So because of that deflection only, we are getting the electric field, that is Ey, which is on the Y direction. So whatever the electric field Ey, suppose if this electric field, whatever the produced electric field will become equals to the applied electric field and the product of magnetic field, then Fi will be 0, that is force on Y direction will be 0. Then the whatever the holes which are moving from the C to D, they won't deflect at all. They will directly come from C and end their path, and they move in the D direction and complete their path in the outer circuit. So this case is only under steady state. Call this as a steady state. Under steady state, what happens? The Ey will become equals to Vx and Bz. So if we substitute that value in Fy, then F force experienced, that is a deflection force, will be 0. Now if we consider a current density, that is that we derived in earlier classes, the derivation for current density. So for electron, so the current density, that is in the X direction, is minus nq into average velocity, that we derived earlier. So here whatever we consider the type of semiconductor material is for a hole. So we consider it as a hole type material. So for hole it will be, that is Jx is equals to P naught. So here we are not considering the minus sign. So P naught is nothing but the holes which are present and the charge associated with that one, and Vx. So again if we rewrite this as Vx is equals to Jx by P naught into Q. If we substitute this equation, that is Vx, we can write that is from, call this as equation number 3. We can rewrite this equation as Vx is equals to Ey by Bz. Call this as equation number 4. Now substitute this equation number 4 in the above equation. Then it will be Ey by Bz is equals to Jx by P naught into Q. If I consider only the electric field in the Y direction, then 1 by P naught into Q Bz Jx, it will go on the right hand side. So Ey is equals to RH, I will call this term as RH is equals to RH into Bz Jx. So here RH is nothing but 1 by P naught into Q, or else P naught Q to the power minus 1, where RH is nothing but a Hall coefficient. See, what we can say from the current density equation is that whatever the electric field intensity that is produced by the Hall effect in the Y direction depends upon the magnetic field which is applied on a Z axis, as well as the current density which is present on the X axis by applying the electric field to the particular semiconductor material. Here 1 by P naught Q is represented, for simplification purpose we represent it as a RH, where RH is nothing but a Hall coefficient. So why we are deriving all these things is to understand by Hall effect, whatever the Hall effect, by Hall effect, whatever the voltage we are getting in the point A and B, that depends upon the applied magnetic field as well as the current density. The terminology is associated with the particular Hall effect. Now call this as equation number 5, that is this one as equation number 5 and this as equation number 6. I am rewriting this one, equation number 5 over here, that is it is equation number 5, that is Ey is equals to Ey is equals to RH BZ JX. So I can rewrite it as a RH is equals to Ey by BZ into JX. So I named it as equation number 5. So I am writing it as equation number 5. Then what is equation number 6? So equation number 6 is RH, sorry, P0. So equation number 6 is P0 is equals to 1 by RH, sorry. So equation number 6 is RH is equals to 1 by P0 into Q, which is again as a Q P0 to the power inverse. So we called it as in a previous page, we called this as equation number 5 and equation number 6. So if I rewrite this equation number 6 as P0 is equals to 1 by RH into Q. So I can rewrite this equation number 6. So the value of RH we know, that is from equation number 5. So I can substitute that equation over here. That is 1 by Ey divided by BZ JX into Q. So I can substitute over here. So after rearranging, what we will get, that is BZ JX, that will go to the numerator, divided by Q into Ey. So this part will go to the numerator. So left out part is Ey into Q. So this part BZ into JX will go to the numerator. BZ into JX, the numerator is Q into Ey. Now BZ. So why we are deriving all these things here in a Hall effect sensor is to calculate the carrier concentration. Carrier concentration in the sense the number of holes, whether it is a p-type material or a n-type material. So in order to calculate that one, we are calculating P0. So here we consider it as a p-type material. So for that reason we are concentrating on a P0. Similarly, if you want to calculate the number of electrons which are present in a semiconductor material, then we need to modify the particular equation. So here whatever the material we considered is a p-type material. So after rearranging equation number 6, we are getting a P0. So P0 is nothing but a holes which are present in a particular semiconductor material. So we can calculate the whether it is a hole majority carriers or electrons majority carriers in a particular semiconductor material. So by seeing the semiconductor material, it is not possible us to find out whether it is a p-type or a n-type. So with the help of these equations, we can find out whether it is a p-type material or a n-type material. So here Jx is nothing but the current density in a z x direction. So current density, that we can rewrite it as a Ix by Wt. Ix is nothing but a current in x direction divided by area, that is width into thickness of the semiconductor material, divided by Q. Ey is nothing but electric field intensity. So I can write it as a electric field intensity as a VAB by W. VAB by W. So Ey, if you refer the figure Ey, So here EY is between the terminal A and B. So the potential difference, that is VAB divided by the width, that is along the width we are taking the EY. So for that reason VAB by W we are taking in the particular equation. So we can rewrite the current density as well as the electric field intensity in this way. If we simplify this equation, then we will get the W and W will get cancelled, and the left out part is P naught is equals to BZ IX divided by the Q, which is in the numerator, T and VAB. So call this as equation number 7. So what we can say, with the help of a Hall effect, we are going to calculate the carrier concentration. Here it's a Hall concentration. So BZ we know, that is a magnetic field which is applied, that we know, as well as the current which is applied, that is also we know. Based on the applied electric field we can calculate Ix, as well as the charge which is associated with the hole. So the value, that is also a constant value which we know, and the thickness of the semiconductor material, and the produced voltage by applying the magnetic field VAB. So that is also we can measure. So with the help of all these parameters we can calculate the carrier concentration which is present in a particular semiconductor material. From equation number 7, that is from this equation, we can calculate the carrier concentration, that is in this case, that is the holes, we can calculate from the equation number 7. Next one, the resistance as well as the resistivity of the semiconductor material can also be found out from this Hall effect. We know the basic formula of the resistance, that is R is equals to rho L by A. So rho L by, here the area is the width as well as the thickness. So if I take a rho over here, then RWT by L. So I am rewriting this equation again. So here the R is nothing but a resistance, that I can write it as a, from the Ohm's law we know V is equals to IR. So R can be written as a V by I. So R can be written as a V by I into WT by L. So here which V we need to take is because of the applied electric field. That is, applied electric field is between the point C and D from this figure. So this electric field, whatever the external electric field what we are applying to particular semiconductor material, that we have to consider over here. That is VCD by IX, that is along the X direction, divided by, I am moving this WT to the denominator over here, L by WT. So I can rewrite this equation over here as follows. So the resistivity, so call this as equation number 8. So from the Hall effect we can be able to find out the resistivity of a semiconductor material also. If we know the resistivity, then one more symbol, that is conductivity, that is the reciprocal of resistivity, can also be found out from the conductivity. So call this as equation number 9. So we calculated already resistivity is also over and conductivity is also over. The unit for the resistivity is ohm meter. So the conductivity which is also can be calculated from the equation. Next one, so this one is the resistivity and this is our conductivity. So there is one more formula for conductivity that we derived in last class. Conductivity is equals to charge into mobility of the hole as well as the holes which are present in a semiconductor material. So here we are considering the hole, we have to consider a hole. So mu p can be rewritten as a sigma by q into p naught. So mu p is equals to sigma, that is from the equation number 9, we can write it as a 1 by rho, which is equals to q into p naught. So p naught, that is from equation number 6. Equation number 6, that is we can write it as a P naught can be written as a 1 by RH into Q. So I am writing that it over here, that is 1 by rho into Q 1 by RH into Q. That is from equation number 6. So this Q and this Q will get cancelled. So from this equation I can write it as a left out part is 1 by RH. So it will go to the numerator. So the